And thanks for joining us for the segment. My guest for the morning, Member of Parliament for Adaklu, is Kwame Agboja. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
And also Henry Kwabena Kukufu is a Member of Parliament for Bantama. Nana, thanks for joining me.
Thanks.
You went for a funeral over the weekend? No, really?
No.
Okay. You were free. I should have called you up though, because we live close by. Should I?
Yeah.
All right. Let's look at this. There's been this very, I don't know whether it's a remnant of the issue from the last week following the News File program in which we had the Member of Parliament from Insha South coming to the News File program discussing this issue about the collection of a car, the Ford Expedition car by President John Mahama at the time that he was vice president way back in 2012 as a gift or as a bribe. And we know Dr. Matthew Poku Prempe has slammed the president, saying he's the cheapest president in the sun for accepting a second-hand Ford gift. And he said Ghana's president had lowered the standard and cheapened the high office of the land when he worked himself into the car scandal. He went on and said no matter what the situation was, it was just not the right thing to do. And we know that the curtains are already drawing down on this very subject, but the issues just won't go away. Honorable Kwame Agboja, what are your conclusive remarks on this very subject? We know that it's an issue which you have debated personally and also in the media over the last week.
Thank you very much, and good morning to your cherished viewers, especially those in Adaklu and Juaso. I have relatives in Juaso.
Okay, great.
I think, in my view, it was a deliberate story with half-truths and fabricated to just make the president look bad. The story is full of malice. For instance, you and I know there's no used Ford Expedition worth $100,000. In fact, we are members of Parliament. When we came to Parliament, those who wanted to even acquire vehicles, Ford Expeditions were brought to Parliament to those who want to buy, and it was about $55,000. So I don't know where Manasseh got his custom-made used one. Secondly, it is only quite clear that when people intend to do the wrong things, they don't document them. I don't know how come a president would like to receive a kickback and then would try to document it all the way. And you see, let's be careful. Remember this country when President Kufuor became a president in the early first years. He went for, we all of a sudden we saw some decommissioned right-hand drive buses from London in this country, and so they were gifts. They were no more in use in this, and they were gifts. And those,
but they were gifts. They were not given to the president, per se.
Gift to who? Did they tell you who they?
To the state of Ghana.
A state of Ghana, and you see, this
one is a gift given to an individual who.
And is it the
who was a vice president?
Is it the first time a gift has been? And if somebody gives you a gift as a Roland, do you officially process it and then give it back to how do you call it, multimedia?
Well, if that's the case, then if you want to officially make it a lot more transparent so that people don't raise their eyebrows as they are raising today, you tend to publicize it. Oh, I was given this gift, etc., about it.
But how do you publicize it without I think that's the right thing to do.
So you're saying that because he left paper trails, it was not deliberate?
No, because people don't take kickbacks by doing all the official things. And I think that this story is is malicious. I don't want to get too much involved in it because for me it's personal. The makers of the story I've got.
Well, Manasseh Azure is an award-winning journalist, has shown his mettle over the years. So if you're saying it's deliberate, as if that somebody instigated him to.
No, I don't really care who instigated him.
No, that's what
the fact that he's an award-winning,
which necessarily is not true.
The fact that he's an award-winning journalist doesn't mean that he can't make mistakes or he can't deliberately try to malign people. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I don't see the merit in this case apart from pretending that you have uncovered a wrongdoing. Exactly where is the wrongdoing? In any case, you said a project is worth $650,000, and then the person gave a used car for $100,000. Only an idiot, contractor would hand over a chunk of the project cost to somebody as this, and then the person would rather officially go and document it. I have a lot of respect for Manasseh, but I believe that he went to bed knowing that he could have done something. And in the first place, can Manasseh actually prove to me he found a used Ford Expedition worth $100,000? He should show me the way he found it. He knows some of the contents of this were just unfounded. He probably found something and then sexed it up massively to merit.
Before I go to Honorable Kokofu, I would say that is it the strategy of the NDC to be attacking Manasseh because he did?
No, I would tell you.
You tend to have a difficulty.
I think it goes beyond Manasseh. I think the old network, to an extent, has got a soft spot for NPP against my party.
But that can be true.
Oh, well, I'm saying that is my view, that multimedia have got a soft spot for NPP, and they tend to do, malicious stories.
How do you
because it's plenty. The other time it was your colleague at the radio. Ghanaians watching us know what we're talking about, and I have no doubt. I am not against multimedia, but I'm saying that your platform, some of your platforms and some of your operatives are being used to do
by
things.
By who? Are being used by who?
Of course, by the opposition. By
so you mean they are on the payroll of the opposition?
I can't say. I haven't seen any payroll, so I can't say they are on payroll. But I'm saying that you are being.
This is a serious statement you are making.
Of course.
You have any proof?
I have no doubt that if you're a journalist and every single story you do every day, or if a network can't see anything wrong.
Are you saying that we're in bed with the opposition?
Let me tell you.
Are you saying that we're in bed with the opposition?
How many times did you take it when my colleague MP in how do you call it Kumasi was slapped by NPP chairman there? How much coverage did you? Yes, how much coverage did you give to that story on your network? You pick and choose stories that you think will be embarrassing.
You as members of parliament, how did you pursue the issue as well?
Well, you're going to do a story about one of them, which is saying that he's going to. You should have asked him what he's going to do. He's a member of parliament from Kumasi. You should be asking him, was he angry about that? What has he done about it? Because he's closer to him.
Okay. Now, it's for me, it's as if because Manasseh has done the story and they feel there's no truism to the story. But the subject of the whole story is about somebody in high office who now is a president, at the time was a vice president, so to speak, but had received a gift, which in many jurisdictions would have been way leaning into conflict of interest situations, really.
Well, once more, good morning to your very good self and to the cherished viewers. Nana Kwekufado is still a central region. We'll get to his
yes, we'll discuss
one district, one industry.
He has an ambitious project he wants to meet when he's elected president.
Yes, we will discuss. But let us do justice to this one. It's unfortunate this morning multimedia stands accused by my colleague here. And for that matter, you are in bed with the opposition and for that, all that kind of things. And that you are pick and choosing stories and news and all those things. You should not forget they are in government. The spotlight is on them. The destiny of Ghanaians are with them. They have our monies, they collect our taxes. They are supposed to put in policies, pragmatic efforts to make the life of the ordinary Ghanaian meaningful. That is their task. That is why they are in government. So the spotlight will continue to be on them. We are talking about something that borders on the high office of the presidency having been compromised. And Dr. Martin Poku-Prempeh, MP4, Menshia, was last Saturday, right on the point, says the president have cheapened the office of the presidency.
Because he received a gift?
One, because he received a gift, and by their own admission, it is a second-hand gift, a car. A second-hand car. By their own admission, they will do the president and the presidency some good if they can stop talking about some of these things and the comments that they are.
But I want to ask you, who received the second-hand car as a gift?
The president, they say.
I mean, who will receive it as a bribe, so to speak, even?
Any ordinary person around. The president...
Too small a bribe to receive.
Yes, that is the point. That is what we are looking at. That is the point. The president has everything at his disposal when it comes to vehicular acquisition of vehicles, armored cars and all those kinds of things. Yes, at his disposal. So, assuming it's a brand new, what does he need it for? As a gift. Then we all know the dichotomy between a gift and then transforming into bribe. You go to the court buildings and it's there. Don't accept gifts, they are bribes. It's there, black and white. Go there. Don't accept gifts, they are bribes. Simplicity. So we want to fight corruption, and the president have indicated that it is not a one-man thing to do. We need collective interest. So journalists like Manasseh Azuri is a partner in the fight against corruption. Likewise, all of us. And he does something and he comes out with it, and he wants the public to look at it and draw our own conclusions and inferences and all those things. All we can do is to jump on him and try to sort of criminalize.
Well, the Minister of Communications asked a question. He said in the mind of Manasseh, he only had two options. Because in the conclusive part of the report, he said, he asked a question, was it a gift? Was it a bribe? Or a gift?
So that is where the dichotomy is. And when does a gift becomes a bribe? That is why in the president's own admonition to his appointees, public officers, the code of conduct, it is in there. You can accept gifts not beyond 200 Ghana cedis. There is a caveat, there's a ceiling, and there's something has to do with it, because beyond that, in his own estimation and his own thinking, it leading into bribery.
Let me ask you a situation. If you were the president at the time or the vice president at the time, and you received a gift that nature, would you go for a laissez-passer, make sure that there's an entry of the vehicle and go and put it in the pool for everybody to detect?
I wouldn't have accepted it in the first place. I wouldn't have accepted it in the first place.
Your experience, people who receive bribes, do they leave trails
behind them, consciously or unconsciously?
So you think that's the vice president at the time unconsciously left trails?
Because questions have not been answered. In whose name was the car registered or the car came in? And my brother was trying
Is it not possible because the car was donated by a private person, could have been also cleared by a private person?
So then it does not become a national issue. So the equalization they're trying to make is flawed ab initio. And he was trying to talk about, yes, the car was given to him, he went, he put. So we are talking about car laundering here. So you acquire money illegally, you bring it into the system, and it's sort of laundered and is donated to an orphanage, so it becomes a clean money.
Let me look.
Now the bigger issue.
The president of Ghana, President Kufuor, those days was elected. He's got a free house at the castle. Yet a private person, according to him, went and used his private money to repair his house. If the analogy you are making that the president
there are documents showing that later
you are saying that the president have got cars and
raised an issue at the time.
Exactly. So I'm saying that if the President Kufuor had a house, he was elected president. He had a state house, a state accommodation, which is the castle. Yet he was able to allow a private person to go and repair his own house
at the time.
Are you saying that?
Which was the gift?
Are you saying that he did it in line with trying to take a bribe or trying to
or be influenced?
Let me answer you perfectly. I will give you an answer. There is a state house called Castle that the president or any other president will want to have the option to stay in or stay out. President Kufuor chose to stay out of the castle, given the size of his family and the accommodation and all those things. So he chose to be in his own house. Then there was this renovation, and there was hue and cry. He said he's using state funds to renovate his own personal house. That was the bone of contention.
Then he prompted the farmer.
Then the farmer came and said, no, he's my own friend, my father, and it is me who is doing on his private property.
Yeah, was that a gift or a bribe?
It was none of those.
Why didn't he repair the house before he became president?
I'm coming. It is none of those.
Him receiving the gesture, was it a gift or a bribe?
Yes, the gesture was done in his favor by the farmer in his capacity.
That's why I'm asking. That's why I'm asking. That receiving that very gesture,
yes,
in which the farmer spent, we know that the sum that he spent at the time.
Yes,
we're told 46 million at the time.
Yes.
Okay. Was it a gesture? Was it a gesture in lieu of being a gift or a bribe?
No, a gift. If you then it was a gift. Yes.
Okay. So if it's a gift and the president can receive a gift, then why can't the president receive a gift now?
That is the problem.
You have a problem with it?
Yes, of course.
If the gift is received now.
No,
but you don't have a problem if the gift was received then.
No, so you see, you look at the strangers, the antecedent. You know, if you read the anti-corruption plan of 2010 to 2020, it tells you how you're going about the corruption, the tendencies. And receiving gifts is one of them.
Okay.
It tells you when gifts are given, the giver has an intent of going to the receiver for favors.
Okay. Let's wrap
public service.
Let's wrap up.
That is where the problem is.
Now,
that's
going forward, do you think in order for this not to arise, it's we're told that the first president of our country was given a gift of Peduase Law. He turned into a state monument, so to speak, for the use of the state. The former president has also received gifts. Even President Rawlings has also received gifts, etc. The current president also received a gift in the form of that very car. Do we need now to set the standards right in law, or perhaps in some guidelines, so that we know that these, just as practiced in other jurisdictions, are the guidelines by which senior public officials are going by?
Exactly. I think that
because right now we don't have, so we are just arguing left, right,
part of that law exists in terms
of... That's why you're even accusing Manasseh, which I think is very much unfair.
Oh, no, I told you, I made a statement that I respect Manasseh, but on this particular issue, I made a true challenge to Manasseh. Go and bring me...
back to my side.
Yeah, go and bring me an example of a Ford expedition, for instance, that is $100,000 user. But let's leave it. I'm not saying he's not a good journalist. I will not say that. But going back to the point, I think that we need to document exactly what we expect. Why only about the president? Myself and him are also elected officers. When he goes to his village and goes to maybe help a community, and he's going and they give him a goat or they give him a sheep, that one must also be documented because he's also a public officer.
So do we need a guideline?
We need a guideline, not only for president, but all of us who actually occupy a public position must have a guideline as to what you should take and what you shouldn't take. Otherwise, we pick and choose politically correct ones and say that this is not bad. But myself and him knows that we have received gifts from our constituents, many of them who don't even know.
Or your friends.
Yes.
Or maybe like because they're happy you are now an MP, they want to give
exactly. So then we can have a clear way as to what that
yes,
is.
of course. I told you the president came up with the code of conduct for public officers.
No, we need.
There's a bill with cabinet code of conduct that's in there, and it
states
it states and
specifies
and gets to operationalize Article 254 of the Constitution also. Yeah, I think 254. That talks about a conflict of interest situations where you need not take compromise yourself in all this. But by and large, he's saying yes, of course. You may be given a gift here and there, but the question is, does it impugn on your?
Do we need a guideline? That's a question. We
do. And we do have. The president has said don't take more than 200 Ghana cedis. Yes, it might not be the law, but it is at least a guideline. It's a regulatory sort of thing. So we should come up with a bill, the conduct of
public officers.
So what happens? You know, traditionally, I've been having this sort of mixed mindset about this. Traditionally, we tend to reciprocate gestures. So you go and visit a chief. The chief gives you. It could be in lieu of a sum or just a normal itemized. So what do? You say, oh, we have a code now, so I won't accept. Is that not a disrespect to the high office of the chief? Just being diplomatic, or you have to collect and come and declare.
There was this thing when Ebola outbreak came. One of the precautionary measures was not to greet. I mean handshake. And you get to a gathering, you are MP or you are a politician, you get to a funeral, and we are not supposed to.
So how did you go about it? I mean, some of those scenarios, yes.
Yes, these are so the risk will always be there. But then, in a more diplomatic manner and all those things, you should know what to take, what not to take, when to take and when not, and where to take and where not. They are gifts, but they can metamorphose into bribery, depending upon the circumstances that
you are saying they can compromise you.
Exactly.
One day in the future.
Yes, it can be given today, and we are waiting for you the next moment.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.